Hey folks, welcome to another week of Spreading the Baseball News with Larry. This week we're going to talk a little bit about the first half of the season, and you see I have my China Trust Brothers hat on. That's to congratulate the China Trust Brothers for being the first half champs, so 恭喜他们了. A little bit of comment for my American friends about how baseball will progress in Taiwan for the second half. If the Brothers do not win the second half championship, and let's say another team, the Rakuten Monkeys, prevail in the second half, then those two teams, the Monkeys and the Brothers, would play for the championship. If, on the other hand, the Brothers prevail in the second half as well, then there would be a playoff between the second and third place teams based on the overall record, and whoever emerged from that would then play the Brothers for the championship of the Chinese Professional Baseball League. So that's a little bit about the format going forward. Now, 为什么他赢了? Why did they prove victorious for the first half of the year? Interesting. I think if you were watching the games like I was back in May, you figured the Rakuten Monkeys were going to run away, at least for the first half of the season. And certainly in May, they looked like the best team in the league. However, there's a saying in baseball, and it particularly is apropos to baseball because it's generally a very long season, but I think it applies to all sports, and that is you're never as good as you are when you're hot, and you're never as bad as you are when you're cold. And I guess the Monkeys were not that good when they were hot in May and the first half of June. Part of the reason they got off to a good start, I think, is Junwei had an excellent month of May. I think 11 home runs in the month of May, probably the best hitter in all of baseball at the time. Naturally, hitters are streaky, home run hitters are streaky. He's cooled off, and I think he's only hit 3 home runs since then, although still hitting for average. Someone else, though, who did carry the team offensively is Lin Lee. He's having an excellent year. I think he's leading the league in hitting with a lot of home runs as well. But one of the problems I view them, Rakuten having, the Monkeys having, is that they seem to have some players who are playing out of position. They're not necessarily the best defensive team, and they have some issues with pitching, and from my perspective, defense and pitching wins ball games. And one of their problems, I think, in pitching as well concerns their relief pitching. Their closer, I think, is a little bit erratic. Who's the closer? Wang Yaolin. Times he's very good, times he's not so good. I think he's got this season 10 saves, but 3 blown saves. One other indication maybe of some of his struggles is his ERA is over 4 runs a game. And for relievers, especially for closers who are generally working just the 9th inning, high ERAs are not a good sign. So I think for Rakuten to have a good and maybe second half of the year, they got to strengthen pitching and defense. Now, as far as the China Trust Brothers, what accounts for their success, I think partly the same thing is good pitching, and I'll talk about that in a second, good defense, and of course good hitting. Some of their hitters had good years so far. Is number one, I think, is Wang Wei-chun. He's had a good year, hitting for average. I think he's hitting about 360 with 10 stolen bases, so he uses his speed quite a bit. The young player I've talked about before, Zhang Kunyu, having a very, very good year. Zhang Zhihao, very professional player. I think also hitting in the mid-300s. So certainly they're getting offensive support. And I think the other key to their success is pitching, and probably what I think is really potentially a star pitcher in the Chinese Professional Baseball League is Huan Si. He's having an excellent year. I looked at his numbers in 71 innings pitched. He's got 77 strikeouts and only 15 walks, so an excellent walk to strikeout ratio. His ERA is 3.5 runs per game, and considering the live baseball or the juiced baseball in Taiwan, very impressive numbers. I think he's a real key to their success. Also, their relief pitching, and I'll just mention two of their relievers. One is Li Zhengchang. He actually has more saves than Wang Yaolin. I think he's got a dozen saves, two blown saves, and his ERA is at least half a run lower per inning than Wang Yaolin. So a good closer for them. Another pitcher that's really helped them and who I've talked about a bit is number 94, Junwei. Really a kid, I think also maybe 21, 22 years old. He comes in either the 7th or 8th inning. And in fact, another stat that's made its way into baseball, he has what's known as 11 holds. His ERA is a very respectable 3.24 runs per game. Averages a strikeout per inning. A little bit high on the walks. I think he averages a walk every other inning, so could cut back on that a bit. But I think these are some of the keys explaining the success of the Brothers the first half of the year. Not just timely hitting, but good defense and good starting and relief pitching. So I hope to see you all next week. 谢谢大家收看。你们有什么看法，请你留言。下个星期见。